Buckle up.
Safety first.
Yeah, safety first. Right. Stop being distracted.
I'm going to get rid of this.
Not even driving yet, and we're already...
I'm just going to put this on the porch. Hold on.
We're off to a rockin' start here. As we prepare to go see the final voyage of Avery Good, professional wrestler, on our way on a rainy Friday afternoon, May 6th, the year of our something or another, 2022. On our way to the Weyerbacher Brewing Company.
Dude, this is going to be so much fun.
Easton, Pennsylvania, home of Crayola Crayons and Avery Good.
Avery Good. So we are going to do an impromptu on the way to car ride?
Yes, we've never done a car ride too. We've done car ride home before. Never a car ride too.
All right, so we're going to do, and I'm kind of putting Brian on the spot here.
Yes, you are.
So if things are not fully correct, oh, we got to mute that.
Thank you. Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. I don't know how to mute that. Maybe I just turned my phone down.
Yeah, just put the volume down. Oh boy, we are fogged up here.
Yes, conditions not ideal for a spring afternoon. You never know what you're going to get weather-wise in Pennsylvania. Today we're getting crappy weather. We're getting quite a bit of rain and wind and low visibility. I believe we had to turn on the defroster.
Yeah, so you might hear, you won't hear because these microphones shouldn't pick up a defroster. Who knows? We'll find out. But yeah, so we are on our way to Weyerbacher Brewing Company for the farewell match.
Yes, the Bash at the Brewery, it's being called. Lehigh Valley Apparel Creations. I think they have another acronym now for LVAC, Lehigh Valley Athletic Company, something or another. But they do some very fun, very creative things. They've done events in malls. Last year they did wrestling shows at
a drive-in movie theater.
At the Mahoning Drive-In. Yeah, they're doing it again this year.
Yeah.
They're doing it in June, I believe. And
I really want... I might pull over for 1 second here just until the windows clear up.
Yes, we have... visibility is very important.
Come on, windows.
To get around, it's very important to see. And seeing is not something we're able to do too well right now.
Play with my mic real quick, too.
So yeah, the big thing, obviously, is Avery Good, professional wrestlers, decided to call it a career, to hang up the boots, hang up the tights, hang up the... he doesn't wear... He hung up the mask a while ago.
Yeah.
No mask anymore, but for much of his career, some of his more famous runs had been under the mask. He was obviously very famous for his time in Chikara, where they did have some more creative gimmicks, I would say, and he had one of the most creative. He was create a wrestler, and Chikara would divide up their years into seasons, and they would have a very small off season, and every season or so, typically, create a wrestler would have a new gimmick. Fans, I believe, could, or at least I don't know how worked it was, but fans could suggest a gimmick for create a wrestler to have, and they would run with the one they like. And I think his original one, I know one of the ones that didn't make it, that they had proposed that didn't win, was Buddhist Beefcake. It would have been a monk. But the...
what a disservice it would have been to have him not talk, though.
Yeah, that is true.
Nah.
I don't think he did a whole lot of talking. Or maybe he did, because his first run, I know, was Moose Cow, the communist bovine. I may be missing one or two here. I know he was also, for a bit, Ultimo Breakfast, where he had a very creative mask, where I believe the top part, where like some wrestlers would have horns or a fin here, he had I believe it was toast. And then you had like a bacon face and eggs for eyes. He was Ultimo Breakfast. And eventually, the one he settled in on for a lot of his career, and I know a lot of people will still call him this, even though he dropped the name. You'll hear people say, "Oh yeah, Dasher's going to be there."
Yes.
Dasher Hatfield was the big one, even though a lot of, for reasons that don't need to be discussed here, this is a celebration of the man. We don't need to get into sordid things.
Yeah, and regardless of what that has happened with Chikara, I'm a firm believer in, you can't let someone who maybe been like the running, like spoil the work of everyone's talent. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
people put a lot of work into that, and regardless that the owner may or may not have been a good person, or I can't speak on. I don't know the full history. I'm kind of coming into the Chikara thing after it happened. I didn't really watch Chikara. I've been learning a lot from you guys and then kind of catching up as I went. But from what I have seen, man, there's a lot of talent and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears put in by the talent, and that's what we're here to represent, and that's what we're here to talk about.
And that is the legacy, the talent that company produced, including a very good professional wrestler, one of, to steal his phrase, well, not one of, maybe, quite literally, the best.
The best.
And so yeah, then he kind of he lost the mask and he had a son. He wound up the Dasher Hatfield gimmick, if nobody knows, is he was an old-timey baseball player. He had he had a mask which you could see his hair. He had a big mustache, like the old-timey baseball players would have.
He's selling a lot of his old Dasher merch tonight.
Is he?
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's a lot of Dasher merch being sold tonight. I'm actually buying a shirt that looks like the Punch-Out, Mike Tyson Punch-Out.
Oh,
and
awesome.
It's the Dasher, and I didn't see the full shirt. I just seen the 8-bit Dasher Hatfield.
Oh, interesting.
And they only have it in 2X, but my wife is very, very talented at shrinking clothing.
Yeah.
So we'll get it to work. Yeah.
I might have to have her take some of my old work pants because they don't fit so good anymore. I need smaller pants.
Yeah.
Because I have to work. I have more time. I have to go in the work now, and I have pants that aren't as. I kind of swim in them now.
It is kind of crazy to see the evolution of the podcast, but also the evolution of you throughout this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, you've lost a lot of weight, man. I'm proud of you.
Still a ways to go, but we're better than we were yesterday, so that's all you can hope for. Well, maybe not. I've had some bad things to eat and drink today, and I'm going to continue at Weyerbacher Brewing.
And they don't mess around with their ABVs.
Oh, I've had Blithering Idiot. I know what you're talking about. But of course, you'll have the vegan food and have some very healthy proteins. Speaking of vegans, the great Ultramanus Black, of course, will be in attendance.
That's your guy.
That is my guy.
That is.
I had half a mind to bring my poster to see if I could get it signed, but like, nah, I'm not going to do that.
You should have. We're going back to Pottsville.
I'm fine. But I'm sure our paths may cross again at some
I'm
point.
sure with everything going on, I'm sure our paths will cross. You can get your poster signed.
And so I just want to see if he remembers the poster because it's old. I've had that poster now for like probably 13, 14. No, it has to be at least 12 years.
Yeah.
Because I got the poster and the T-shirt at the same time, and I had the T-shirt in 2009 when I met Demolition for the first time, and because I was wearing it in the picture I got with Demolition, I got the poster at the same time. But yeah, he will be there. I believe his team is the one that's really exciting for me is because he's been mostly retired for a long time. One of the people on his team will be the Hydra, the giant of Chikara, 400 pounds. He was a monster. He might not look it. He might look like he's maybe 170 soaking wet, but he's chiseled. The abs may look like they're drawn on, but they're not. The pecs may look like they're drawn on, but they're not.
It's 100% authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was a monster. And kind of behind the curtain, he was also an early tag team partner of somebody you know very well. He was one of Orange Cassidy's early tag team partners.
Wow.
I believe he was Leslie Butterscotch. When you had Orange Cassidy, there was Leslie Butterscotch. There was Pineapple Andy, I believe, was one of them.
So Cassidy, it's no secret to the podcast. I'm a Cassidy fan. I love Orange.
I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up tonight.
Yeah, and we had an opportunity to work with other companies, and when you found out that you were going to be in the presence of Ultramanus, you kind of had a little moment. You were
a little starstruck.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, the same show, I'll get to be meeting Orange. So we both had that moment where like you played them out, like you did the music, so it was really fun. That's our mark moment of the day. I'm sure that won't be the only one.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, so this is we're kind of been joking around the entire time as saying this is Chikara One Night Stand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, Chikara Hardcore Homecoming, since the actual promoters and the likenesses won't be involved. But a lot of the people who are the heart and soul of it, in no small part, you count Avery Good as part of that. whatever incarnation of creator wrestler he was, the long run as Dasher Hatfield, ushering in that last generation, the Boomers of the world, the Mollys of the world, all of them.
What was that?
That
was
the
the transmitter.
That was the transmitter for
I
the.
have no idea where that went either.
It's
right there. I'm good.
The microphone.
We're good.
So yeah, I
I'm
know.
kind of bummed no outfielders tonight, but it's all right.
Yeah, I'm assuming maybe they got booked.
They're probably booked elsewhere. Yeah.
And but yeah, so yeah, no Weber Hatfield, no Shea McCoy, but they're doing their own thing. They're
killing it.
Yeah, they're doing a
Love
lot
that
of work
team.
out there. Very talented team. Very, very, very much working on their craft. Always improving. Always changing. New names, their own names now. They kind of shed that. And that's what I think more so than Chikara's tainted or Chikara has this bad thing around it. It's that there's that issue of am I ever going to have an issue where somebody says, oh no, that's not your name, I made that name.
Yeah.
And now Weber Hatfield is Weber Hatfield's own person. Shea McCoy is their own person, so they don't have to worry about it anymore. Neither of them do. So,
And Weber was unmasked by Avery.
Yeah.
During this farewell tour.
Yeah,
so that's kind of
the
historic as well. Yeah.
And also, some old school Chikara people are going to be around here. Hydra is an old school Jigsaw. Jigsaw was a guy who he may have been the first class. I'm not that up on Chikara. He may have been the first class. If not, he was in the early classes, and he was one of the first people to kind of leave too. He became a Ring of Honor regular. He was part of the Vulture squad, which was led by our good friend Julius Smokes.
That guy is awesome.
Oh, Julius Smokes is a character. On and off screen, Julius Smokes is one of a kind. He's an iconoclast.
I will say this: working with Leapfrog was kind of my introduction of what. I mean, I always heard of Chikara, but I never really dove into it or really got into it because, once again, I kind of came back into wrestling after a while. But my first moment of really like we were at a show and I was watching the shows and then kind of started to see that process where people were changing names and gimmicks, and I didn't really understand why, and then I kind of started learning of the reasons why, and watching Edith become Edith, watching Max Zero become Max Zero, and shedding that mask and how emotional it was for him and him actually shedding tears, and I was like, why, and then like kind of talking to you of why that was such a significant thing, and watching these amazing talented people kind of shed that skin but still show that their talent is the reason why they are the way they are, not the name that was given to them.
Totally. Yeah, Edith has had such success post Chikara, just to a new level.
She's killing it.
New
and she will be here tonight, which is exciting. I love watching her wrestle.
In a three-way match. I believe it's the only all-women's match on the show because I think Willow's wrestling, but Willow's wrestling Tracy Hot Sauce Williams.
Love Willow too. It's only a matter of time before she's signed, right?
It seems like AEW she's got that kind of what Wheeler Yuta had before he was officially signed, and what like a Lee Moriarty may have had.
Willow's smile is infectious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Willow Nightingale is everything Vince McMahon is telling Bianca Belair to do, but it doesn't fit Bianca because it's not Bianca. It doesn't ring true to Bianca.
Yeah.
It's like go out there and smile and just smile as big as you can, and it just doesn't feel right for Bianca because she should have that air of like she's likable, but she's likable because you're like she's the best and she knows it. Where Willow is just like I'm going to radiate a friendly energy and you're going to believe it. And Willow does that. You believe it every time.
And the cool thing is she, for how good she is radiating that positivity and the smile, she also can flip it on a switch and get serious and then get into a war. Yeah. Which is probably my favorite part about her. I don't remember the cartoon, but it's like a cartoon where it's like a cute fluffy bunny and then it just loses its mind and becomes like this psychopath.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? I remember it was like an old cartoon. I think my brother or something used to watch it, but it was like it would be like this cute like buddy and it would be all bubbly and stuff, and then it would get mad and it would just turn red and
makes sense.
Freak out, but it can bounce back and forth between the two characters and
almost
Willow.
Like Moon Knight. We're watching. I know a lot of people are watching Moon Knight.
Yeah. And that's where Willow kills it.
Finale there. But yeah, Willow is going to be wrestling Tracy Hot Sauce Williams, another Chikara veteran. May have been an insect of some sort. Who's to say? May have been an insect of some sort. May have been a colonizer of some sort. But Edith will be in um, in a three-way match with, and good luck to the commentators tonight. The former Gavin Loudspeaker, I know, is one of them, and I forget who the other commentator is going to be, but good luck to them tonight, because it's going to be Edith Surreal against Veda, Veda Scott,
Yes.
and Vita Von Star. So a lot of the last names used there. So a lot of excellent work there by Surreal, or by Scott, or by Von Star.
Yeah.
I don't think the first names are going to be used unless to comedic effect.
Yeah. I got to do commentary with Veda,
Yeah.
and then we got to meet Vita
At Leapfrog,
at
yeah.
Leapfrog, yeah. And she did CFU as well, right?
She may have. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe she was there that day, but it was also a double taping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not the one I was at.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was double taping with Leapfrog. I know she's done Leapfrog.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as a lot of, and also, I don't know if, I would assume maybe the brains behind IWTV may be there. A lot of his old brethren may be there. Our buddy Eric Pinhat will be doing ringside photography.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool to kind of see that reunion of friends.
Yeah.
Even as a fan, I think I'm really excited. It's one of those shows where, we're actually going to be in the audience and being
Yeah.
a fan and not kind of being backstage. But a part of me wishes maybe I was backstage,
Yeah.
even though I don't know 90%, they don't know me, but it would be cool to, I'm interested to see, just the reunion of people.
Absolutely,
It's going to be really a beautiful moment. And we're going to see it as fans in the ring,
Yeah,
and
so-
that's going to be awesome.
Sometimes it's fun to be a fan. Sometimes you don't have to worry about if you're doing
I can only
commentary,
imagine what's going on backstage, and I'm really happy for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indie wrestling, there's not a whole lot of money in it, but there's a lot of camaraderie if you know the right people and you're around the right people, and there's a lot of people in that old Chikara group that are very tight-knit, that do enjoy each other's company.
You get I know it sounds super cheesy, but you get paid in memories.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think I've never spoken personally to the man, but I think one of the reasons that Avery Good has decided to call it a career, he's a dad, and he wants to spend time with his children while they're still children, which you can't blame him for that.
Not at all.
But a lot of these people he's going to be sharing the card with tonight are people who've seen those kids grow up.
Yep.
And that's what it's all about.
Well,
And speaking of kids, one of his wrestling kids, to say, is Abby Jane, who's going to have the honor of Avery Good's final match tonight.
which is kind of cool, only because this is kind of with the obviously the hiatus and the end of Camp Leapfrog. We've never had that payoff.
Yeah, and that was the match. That was the big one they were building to.
So as someone who we were part of that production team, and I was kind of sliding on the commentary role there, I wanted to not only see his last match, but it's kind of cool to see the closing moments that we kind of didn't get at camp.
Yeah, it's the finale that wasn't.
Yeah, and because Abby won the right to challenge him at any time for the title, for the Camp Leapfrog title, and it just never happened.
Yeah,
but,
unfortunately.
But now we're gonna get it in the sense of it's gonna be Avery's last match, and he said online that he's doing this for her because he wants her to also retire, because I forget how he put it. I'm going to beat you so bad you're going to want to get out of this business. And
It's going to be a double retirement.
Yeah.
You get two for the price of one.
It's going to be a double retirement, but I'm super excited. And a lot of people, I guess, if you're an outside person looking in, right, and you look at Avery, Dasher, whatever incarnation you know him as, you're like, why an Abby, right? She's tiny. She's the glasses. She looks like a librarian nerd. She's
Abby's doing some interesting
she
stuff lately.
is the hardest worker. Behind the scenes, she has earned the respect of a lot of top big people who have earned their stripes, and one of them being Avery. So it is really, really cool to see for her to have that moment as well, and for them to share it together. And I'm pumped, man. It's gonna be good.
It's going to be a fun time.
Well, let's kind of dive into how a very good professional wrestler becomes Avery Good.
Well, the name was a very good professional wrestler, and I guess I don't know what we
don't know the actual story.
Yeah, but he shows up on AW Dark as Avery Good, and it's like, oh, that's hilarious. That's a really
fits
good.
So well. Yeah,
that's a really good pun. Instead of a very good, he's Avery Good, because it seems like sometimes they don't want people using certain gimmicky names. Like I believe that this last time, Bro Keller from PPW was on. I think he just used either his real name or another working name. I don't think it was Bro Keller this time.
Yeah.
He was the first time. When the Sambo show did AEW Dark, they did not use that name. It's not the most politically correct name in the world. They were Sam Adams and Siler Andrews.
Yes.
So maybe it was a thing where like, let's just come up with. We don't know. Like, that would be something that's Avery good story to tell if he ever decides to tell it.
Well, sorry, I'm doing this again. Don't mind my hand. So that is something that may happen in the near future for us on the show, where he may come on and tell his story.
That would be incredible.
The door is open. We did talk. It is in the works. But things change all the time. But it would be fantastic. That's why we're not getting too much into just kind of what we know history-wise, and we're not like, because and we're not getting into like his matches on this farewell tour, because there's been a lot. I believe 9 or 8 in total.
Yeah, I think he was doing 10, and this is going to be number 10 tonight.
10 in total, yes. And
I think he's won one of them so far, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So it's going to be really fun. But even the Avery Good name, I mean, the guy has been so versatile, and anything you give him, he can make work.
Oh, absolutely.
And even with the last couple months of his career here, where he goes on TV, and it could have been something that was easily throwaway, like Avery Good. He turns it into another gimmick, and he turns it into another name, and it worked. Got to see him as a champion with the independent wrestling television. He was going for that title.
Looked like he was about to knock on the door for that.
Yeah, but unfortunately with injury he was unable to do so. Mm-hmm. But that was kind of my dream. I wanted to always see him capture that title. Oh man, when he came in the ring after the
IWTV 100,
the IWTV 100, I was like, this is it, because I thought for a second we were going to see a dual champion. We're going to see a leapfrog and a IWTV champion.
It came very close, yeah.
Oh, just never panned out, man. Super talented, and then even like going behind the scenes again, like talking to him at camp and really getting to pick his brain and just chat. Just such a good dude.
Not just no ego, negative ego.
Yeah.
Goes out of his way to be professional and welcoming. When I say negative ego, not like he has the ego and it's a negative, just like welcoming.
Yes.
Welcoming as opposed to just kind of being like, oh, hey.
It's almost like these heels are just really good people.
He has been a heel his whole life. Dasher Hatfield was a babyface, or a Technico, Chikara Technico for a long time.
Yeah. What was your first time you seen him work?
I couldn't tell you like a match. I don't know what exact match it would have been. Maybe one of those cyberneticals that had a ton of people in it.
Yeah, it was as Dasher.
I remember seeing clips of Ultimo Breakfast, and I think Moose Cow more in like skits, because my first exposure to Jakar was more like skits and the promos and stuff and little clips of the matches. I don't know if he was in the match or not, but there was a match where, you know that spot they'll do with the referee where it's like 1, 2, and there's a kick out, and then somebody be like, no, it was 3.
Yeah.
One time at Chikara, the referee was like, oh, okay, and then you call for the bell. Like, he believed him. And I for some reason, I want to say that either, like, Ultimo Breakfast or Dasher Hatfield was in that match, but I'm not sure. A lot of stuff with another guy, Mr. Touchdown, Mark Angelo Setti.
You're right, ring the bell.
So there's been a lot of memorable stuff. The stuff with Boomer and Molly. Boomer, now Weber, and Molly was always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now Shay, Shay and Weber, but formerly Boomer and Molly. All that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it's an incredible ride and an incredible talent too. Like, just in the ring, so good. Everything's so fluid and easy, and just makes it look effortless.
And it was awesome to see almost the small reunion at AEW when they all took the photo backstage.
Yes, and again, that's another guy who's going to be here tonight. Bryce Remsburg will be.
I forgot Bryce to be here. And we're seeing him again at a brewery.
Yeah, we only see Bryce Remsburg at breweries.
He's going to think we have a problem.
Yes.
There was wrestling relations there both times too, so we're not just there for the beer, even though there is going to be a Avery Good beer. I believe it has Avery, Big Dan, and Bacabella on the can, and it's a championship Pilsner, I believe it's called. I could be wrong.
The incomparable Sidney Bacabella, the Hall of Famer Sidney Bacabella.
I believe he will be there as well tonight.
Oh, I'm sure he will be.
Yeah. So we were doing our fan speculations of like who could be the last match before Abby was announced, and
it makes sense.
And listen, I love it, but one of the ones we teased was like we said, like, man, what if Claudio shows up? But it's not looking likely. But I don't count anything out.
No, I think you might see somebody from a big TV thing. I think you might get a thumbs up for that. But
yeah.
I don't know about Claudio. He's a busy guy, busy schedule. He's not local to Pennsylvania like a lot of these guys are, or Easton was where a lot of them were based out of, or between Easton and Berks County, North Jersey.
Just kind of going back to that roster too, kind of going back and looking at like who people you've seen on TV who have come through those ranks and come through that promotion. Eddie Kingston.
Yes.
Ruby Soho.
Eddie Kingston, the very first Chikara Grand Champion.
Yeah.
And the 12 Large Summit, named after the amazing, gone well before his time, Larry Sweeney.
Yeah. Best Friends. A lot of members of Best Friends.
Yeah. Most of them. I don't know how much Chikara work Beretta did, but Yuta was, well, Yuta's not with him anymore, but Yuta was a Chikara guy.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, Orange Cassidy was a Chikara mainstay. Maybe not as Orange Cassidy. Maybe again they had a little.
Well, did he end with?
I think he was Orange Cassidy for a bit in Chikara, but there may have been an infestation problem, some insect issues there.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of Chuck Taylor. Some of the earliest memories I know of Chuck Taylor is, did you hear what Chuck Taylor did on the Chikara show, where he would do the hand grenade thing, or he would like pull up on a little kid in the front row and act like he was going to punch them.
The best is what the video I seen where he pulled up on a little kid and the little kid started crying, and then the kid next to that kid started crying. He goes, "I got two of them." He's like, "I got two." Brody
Lee, yes, Brody Lee. Ryan Dales.
I did not know Brody was there, and then I went back and I was watching old Brody stuff, and I was like, "Wait, he has matches." I also watched an old ROH match with Brody against him and Necro Butcher.
Oh wow, yeah. They teamed in New Jersey. They were the Redneck Wrecking Crew.
Wow.
Yeah, plenty of them. Plenty of talent came through there. Just if you were in the Northeast indie scene, and I don't want to say Philadelphia because I'm going to sound like the Philadelphia guy, but I'm going to say Philadelphia, even though I forget where exactly. It might have been Easton. I forget where Chikara's original school was. It might have been like Hellertown. I know they ran Hellertown a lot, but it was between like Berks County, Philly, that area. But Chikara was running a lot around there, and then you had Ring of Honor was started in Philadelphia, despite what Jim Ross may tell you on AEW. You're like, "Oh, it's big that we're here in Baltimore for this Ring of Honor match." No, you should have been last week, Jim.
Yep.
Should have been last week when you were in Philly.
Well, they did throw a kind of cool thing where, oh, he probably heard that shot from Allentown, and Taz goes, he probably heard it in Hamburg.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
But yeah, there's that time, there was just so much talent coming, especially coming through Philadelphia, New Jersey, New York, that between Baltimore and Boston was the place to be in indie wrestling.
Yeah, this
for
Northeast
a long time.
Coast is crazy.
But it was really Philly. It was
Philly?
what was the big indie out of New York? There wasn't one. What was the big indie out of Baltimore? There wasn't one.
Rochester, I guess, had a scene though, right?
Yeah, they had a scene, but if you got your goal is to get big in that scene to make it to Philly.
Philly
was
Jersey? Question mark?
Yeah. Ring of Honor would run Jersey too, and they would run the Manhattan Center. Chikara would run Easton a lot. They would run Hellertown. But the arena, for a while, the ECW arena was just kind of where all the big players ran.
Yeah.
And then PWG started building their name, and it became there. And that begat AEW. But it all started because it's really because of the arena. It's all because of all of this happened because of ECW.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Chikara couldn't be any farther from ECW if they tried. It was all bring the kids, family fun. Unless Chuck Taylor's gonna act like he's gonna hit one of them. They would do a play on the thumbtack spot with Los Ice Cream. So it was one of their signature tag teams, and it was Ice Cream Jr. and El Hijo del Ice Cream, and they would use what we would call in Philly jimmies, where they were usually rainbow sprinkles, sometimes chocolate
sprinkles, yeah.
Even rainbow though, it could be rainbow, and they would put them on the ground on the canvas, and it would be like somebody used the thumbtacks. but you would land
yeah.
on the sprinkles, and you would act like you just landed on a pile of thumbtacks.
Now it's kind of becoming like Doritos.
Legos, but they really hurt.
Yeah.
But a lot of people would use Legos. And it's so funny because the other one that had their fair share of people come through, Adam Coltrane there, if you listen to our episode with Carrie Silken, you'll learn that. John Moxley was a regular, Nick Gage, a lot of the GCW people.
Did Moxley ever do Chikara stuff?
I don't believe so, but I'm talking about CZW.
Oh, CCW is, yeah.
CZW is where the Briscoes were before there was a Ring of Honor. The Briscoes were CZW guys through and through. And they were another part of that was South Jersey, and then they would come in through the arena, and just that whole scene, South Jersey, Philly, North Jersey, Jersey All Pro was a big one, Chikara, a little farther out toward Berks County. It was the place to be. It was the place to be before PWG became so hot, and then SoCal became the place to be. And Chikara was a huge, huge part of it. As silly as it may have been sometimes, they were a huge, huge part of it. Look at a lot of people now, like not just with the best friends in AEW, but 3.0.
Yeah.
They were Chikara and Campeones de Parejas.
Yep.
So they have a lot of history, and it's going to be so cool to see some of the people that maybe have stepped away for a little bit, but are coming back because they have that much respect for Avery Good that I don't do this a lot, but I want to be on the show tonight when he's saying goodbye.
Yeah.
And that shows you what he means. A guy like Jolly Roger, who hasn't wrestled a whole lot.
I'm interested. We have to ask around and find out, but I believe Header was saying that he might be a Gen 1, right?
Gen 1, Gen 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Manus, same thing. I think Manus was Gen 1. And
when's the first time you've seen Manus?
2007, probably.
What attached you to him?
The character, the promos, just this over-the-top, devious heel. It was the promos more so than the wrestling, even though Manus is an excellent wrestler as well.
Yeah.
But this whole idea that he's trying to take over with his Neo Solar Temple and some of the storytelling they would do, but it was really the characters they would have.
I would say this, at least, just from hearing him talking and do commentary with him and his dialect and the way he speaks. He was before Broken Matt Hardy.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
well before.
Yeah, because a lot of people, I think, if you hear him, you're like, oh, he's doing Broken Matt Hardy, but Broken Matt Hardy's doing Ultra Manus Black.
He was doing that when Matt Hardy was doing the V1. This.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he did start as Ultra Mantis, which was a sort of they had their insects, who had the ants, you had the colony, and you had Ultra Mantis, who was another insect. But then he took a dark turn and he became Ultra Mantis Black, and he was evil. He's the devious one. Mm-hmm. I would say, I don't know this for sure, but maybe a certain guy in AEW who's very nice and very evil, took a little page from Ultra Mantis.
Oh yes, very much.
Because they're
very much so.
Yeah, they are both in that old horror vein, that old 1950s.
That's a match I would love to see.
Yeah.
Ultra Mantis versus Danhausen.
Or just the build to the match. The match itself would be fine. It would be entertaining. I think they would tell a great story. But the build, the characters are so magical that you don't even need the match. Just they inhabit themselves, and just anything they do, they don't have to jump off of and they're not going to.
No, they're absolutely not going to.
They don't have to jump off of like an 80-foot thing and do 7 flips. They can entertain you with not even their words, their actions, their mannerisms. Yeah. They know how to do everything.
And then his someone we've seen him partner with will be wrestling again tonight. Will be all right. Hollow Wicked. Is he on the card?
Frightmare. No, I believe Frightmare.
Oh, Frightmare, not Hollow Wicked.
I don't believe Hollow Wicked. I didn't see him on the card at least, but it's a 10-man tag, and I believe it's Frightmare, but I'm not sure about that.
I think you're right. It's
I'm
Frightmare.
using my phone as a GPS right now.
Yeah.
And Hydra will be on the same team as Ultra Mantis. I believe it's Frightmare, and the Batiri, who have done some AEW Dark work, who are another like evil group in Chikara. So yeah, all in all, it's going to be a fun time. I can't wait.
There's somebody else, another match in person I want to give a plug out to that I'm a huge fan of on the card tonight. Erica Lee.
Yeah.
Hong Kong.
I believe that match has been changed a bit because the Boar is injured.
Is he really?
I believe so.
I hope he still comes.
It'll be good. It'll be good to see him again.
Yeah.
But I forget who else is on her team now, and Puff.
Puff, I seen Puff wrestle in Albany, New York.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very entertaining.
Yes.
And I don't remember offhand who they're wrestling, but yeah, they will be on the show.
Erica Lee, the first woman to compete in the men's Super 8.
Yeah. Just came up just short. Darius Carter got the win. I think she's also the first woman to hold a non-women specific singles title in ECWA. But yeah, her career has been growing by leaps and bounds.
So good.
So entertaining.
And she's
inside and outside the ring.
And she's been tagging with Edith Surreal.
Has she?
Yes.
Interesting.
I forget exactly how they bill it, but it's like the honk girl and artsy fartsy or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Artsy fartsy is good.
Yeah. But another one who can come out there and be funny and make jokes like a 6-year-old.
Yep.
But when it's time to fight,
when the bell rings,
woo!
Yeah.
Her and Christina Marie essentially killed each other at PPW. And it was unbelievable.
And you don't see it because she has this over the top personality and dresses like it's like a kind of 80s, early 90s vibe, and is doing these fun
like
things.
The workout gear. Yeah,
the workout gear, and then the bell rings and she's like doing All Japan Strong style, dropping people on their head. I can't say safe unsafe. I'm not a wrestler and never will be, but
gimmick wise, she's dropping you on your head.
It looks good.
Gimmick wise, she's out to kill you.
Yeah.
and make poo poo pee pee jokes as she does it.
Which is just adding insult to injury.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
so stupid, but you're so silly, but then you're gonna kick my ass, so I can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Because then I got beat by the silly person.
Yep, I love it. Secretly, we always talk about in the podcast that the gimmicks can never be a world champion. The gimmick can never be. It's not commonplace in wrestling where the gimmick becomes a world champion. Erica Lee's one of those people that can joke around, laugh, make jokes, but in the ring, she's just as mean and vicious as your world champion, and she has every right to be exactly where she is. And I mean, look at ECWA, the Super 8. Like, Darius Carter's no slouch.
He's not.
And she took him to the limit, and maybe should have won.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, she's no joke. And another one I'm very excited to see tonight. I had so many shirts I was going through. Like, do I wear the Abby shirt? Do I wear the Erica Lee shirt? Do I wear the Willow shirt? But I had to go with the brand new.
You got to wear the band T-shirt.
Yeah, I had to go with the band T-shirt. I was that guy, and but man, I'm really pumped. Anything else about the card or anything you want to put out there?
No. I just can't wait to see how it shakes out. Can't wait to have a fun time. Spent a lot of time lately doing other things. Like I said, we do a lot of work now behind the scenes. Behind a microphone doing commentary, but it's going to be fun just to sit back, be a fan,
just watch
be entertained, watch wrestling, and just can't wait.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to put this out as a bonus content. I don't know if I'm going to make this a numbered episode. I might just make it a numbered episode and upload it when we get home tonight. But we're going to be doing a car ride home as well. If this light provides enough on us while we're driving home, we'll use it. If not, it'll be audio only, and we'll do a full recap of the show. But we're pumped. And once again, Avery, thank you for an amazing career.
The best career.
The best. And if you're listening to this, you're like, who are you guys talking about? How dare you?
Yes.
And
how did you last this long on this show? Hopefully you've learned enough about Avery Good that you're looking back and looking at his matches, at the Dasher Hatfield stuff, and you will get why we're saying
head over to iwtv.com. I'm sure if you type them in on YouTube, you'll find some of the stuff we were talking about.
I believe it is independentwrestling.tv.
Oh yeah, independentwrestling.tv. I'm sure you could find old Chikara stuff out there.
You may even find a guy named Vin Gerard in that old Chikara stuff.
Yeah, definitely go watch it. Their careers have been amazing, and like I said, there's even the rest of the talent that's on this card. They're not done, not by a long shot, but they're amazing people to watch, and go check out their content and fall in love with them, because it's really, really cool, man. AEW is and ROH now are giving a platform for these people that we're talking about now, where the Wheeler Yuters and the Daniel Garcias and the Orange Cassidys and the Ruby Sohos of the world, and Adam Cole, like all of them are they've started in these small promotions and just worked their asses off, and here they are.
And it's a shame that it took so long for something like AEW to come around, because if AEW or something like it, with that kind of money behind it,
Avery would be there.
and being able to get TV, Avery Good would have had not a better career, just because he's had a great career anyway, but he would have had a career that would have had more visibility. I'm sure he would have made more money, which he wouldn't be complaining about.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would have been one of those guys.
He's one of those guys on the independent scene who paved the way for the rest
Yes.
of these people to have these opportunities.
If people have risen above him, it's because they are standing on his shoulders 100%.
Yeah, and he probably was the first one to take the knee to let them get on the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so once again, Avery, thank you for an amazing career. We're honored. As soon as the tickets came up for this, we bought them
Literally, I believe
almost
that night,
immediately. Thank you, seriously. Thank you for all you've done. We never say never in wrestling. Even Undertaker said, "Never say never."
That one I want to say never.
Yeah.
Avery Good, fine. I don't know what his physical condition is, but I hope at least he's in better physical condition than that people suspect the Undertaker is in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if he's going out on his terms, Avery Good, more power to him.
Yes.
He gets to write his ticket. If he does come back, let's just say he comes back in a year and a half. Don't be that person. Oh, it's the Terry Funk retire. Embrace it.
Embrace
If
it.
he never steps foot in the ring again, good. He went out on his terms. If he decides to come back and wrestle
He's
6
come
times
back.
a year,
Come
a
back.
year from now,
Please, at one point.
that's good too.
Yeah. And even if it's not in between the ropes wrestling standpoint, man, it's like he'd be someone if you're going to build a promotion or you want someone backstage or you want a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy you call. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? He's got a great wrestling mind. You want to? Who else in the independent scene do you take advice from on how to get a gimmick over?
Many people. I've never tried to get a gimmick over. I'm not a performer.
What I'm saying is
so
Avery is that guy to teach you.
he certainly knows how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, we're gonna put a thing on the internet, and you're gonna get whatever they give you, make it work, and he does.
Yeah.
That's your teacher right there. Like he's fantastic. But yeah, that'll do it. We'll wrap this up here around the 45-minute mark. Tornado Tag Podcast. Thank you guys so much. Head over to the iwepnetwork.com to follow all of our podcasts. From Tornado Tag to Truth Behind Illusion. There's so much on there. I'm not going to go through the whole lineup. Just head over to the website. We have merch. We have Patreon. We have all that fun stuff. And Brian, tell them about your podcast.
Murder My Dude is on ProjectHumanoid.com, or if you look up Murder My Dude. I believe I have settled on our next episode is going to be about a Friday the 13th inspired murder.
You'll be Abby Jane after Avery
That's
rips her apart.
That'll be this week in murder. We have a whole segment for current events. It's a completely different part of the show. Or maybe even who died the worst.
Yeah. Maybe it's Avery. Maybe Abby gets real dark.
Oh.
Yeah.
We have said that before. I know that's a thing. Like everybody wanted to turn Abby Jane into like somebody who just legitimately killed people.
It'd be the perfect cover.
Yeah.
Abby Jane turns into who's the axe
Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie
Yeah.
Borden.
Don't bring up Lizzie Borden in wrestling. That's XPW. That's a whole other ball of wax. I don't want to talk about that.
All right, well, on that note, we're out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Every Thursday night, we're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, Tornado Tag Podcast. Come join us. Come hang out. We'll see you guys next time. We're out of here. You can hit stop on that. Maybe I'll get it. Hold on.
Incredibly short arms.
My tiny arms.
My little arms can't reach the stop button. I literally can't.
I got it. I'm keeping that in, too. You trying to...
It's like a hot tag.